Are you originally from Valencia? Were you born here? Or did you move here from somewhere else?
I was born in a little village in the south of Alicante.
Alicante?
Mm-hmm. Actually, the village where I born, the place where I come from, it is actually where most of my family still lives. You know, I come from a really big family, and all my brothers and sisters, they live there still. My mom lives there, so everyone is there, but me.
Did you study there?
I studied there until high school. After high school, I moved to Alicante, to university, and then I moved on to other places. But basically, I studied at my area, at the area where I was born, until high school. Later, I just moved on to university.
So how did you end up working in Valencia rather than? I mean, your logical thing is to work in Alicante, that's closer to where your family are.
Well, yeah, in Spain, that would be considered like the normal steps, because we are not really prone on moving from one place to another.
Exactly. It's more normal in the UK, where you go to university in another city, and yeah.
And people is more prone to moving around. You know, I lived in Europe in several countries, and you see that. I mean, people that you coincide with, people who is working with you, most of the time they don't really come from the place they're working. But in Spain, the story is different. It's like people is really, really not that flexible on separating from their places of origin, from their families, from their, from their circles of acquaintances.
So what happened? I mean, you obviously had a different story to that. So let's start with when did you first go abroad? When did you first leave Spain to go traveling?
First time I left Spain, it was somewhere around 1993, 1992, somewhere around there. I had this French friend. He spent the summers on the same place I was spending my summers, so we were kind of friends.
In France or in Spain?
Spain.
In Spain.
Really close.
He came from France and
spent his summers in Spain. And I was always really very, very curious about what's going on abroad. What happened when you go.
Where's this French person from?
Yeah. What do they do in France? What do they do there? Like normal people? Do they
the same that they do here, but in French.
But you always have the curiosity of what's going on, because I've been told that Spain is the best place in the world to live. Everyone wants to come over here. Everybody wants to be here, but why? It's like their lives are really miserable out there. I want to go there and take it by myself.
Right.
So one Christmas, I told my mother I was spending Christmas with some friends at some house, but I really jumped in a bus and spent the Christmas in France.
And your mother didn't know?
No.
She thought you were in Spain and you were in France.
And I was in France. I was in Grenoble, in the Alps. And summers I used to work in restaurants and places just to get some money so I could pay my studies. And I was offered a job in an English bar.
Where? In Alicante?
In Torrevieja.
Torrevieja,
which is a really...
there are a lot of English people in Torrevieja, aren't there?
Tourism resort, sort of,
Yeah.
And, by a series of coincidences, I just got offered the thing. I told the guy, who is still a really good friend of mine, Carlos, the owner of the place, like, hey, I'm willing to work, I'm a hard worker, you're going to be fine with me, but you got to know that I don't speak a word of English. I don't speak a word, nothing. And we're like, well, don't mind, you learn. And by working over there, I got to know other people, English people. And then I started traveling back and forth, England and other places.
How did your English get so good? Did your English become this good because you traveled so much, or because you studied English in Spain and practiced when you traveled? How did you get your level of English to where it is now?
Actually, I learned the other way around. I first started speaking. I first started listening to people.
And that was in Torrevieja when you worked in the bar with tourists.
In this English place, So I first started listening and speaking, and then later on I actually learned the language, you know.
So you studied grammar after that?
Yes, but I've never been like such a big, you know, never spent that much time studying grammar. It's more like, to me it looks more like, it comes more like as a natural thing, because I've used the language so much that I am capable, or I think I'm capable of knowing whenever something sounds funny or doesn't sound funny, you know.
So you try things, you experiment, and with time you develop your vocabulary and your expressions with time.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I mean, like, one of the ways I've learned more language is by watching movies and series, you know. Instead of using like Spanish subtitles, I always use English subtitles.
So you listen in English and you put the English subtitles?
Yeah, that makes the thing so much easier for me, because at the same time I'm listening to new words that I may understand because of the context. At the same time I'm seeing the word written in front of my eyes. And for me it's like an automatic register of the word.
Do you read in English? Because I have a problem. My Spanish is okay, but I don't enjoy reading in Spanish because I don't enjoy it. I enjoy reading in my language. Do you read in English?
I read in English, but it depends. It depends on the writers. You see,
some writers. You read books, or you read on the internet, like blogs?
Books. But it depends on the writers. There is some writers who are really, really easy to read them in English.
For example?
For example, there's one particular one I really like, Robert Ludlum. He's a writer of Born.
The Born trilogy and the Born Supremacy.
Yeah. It's so easy. I mean, I really like the spy books, and you know.
So really, what you're saying is find a writer that you enjoy. It's easy for you to understand, and then that will improve your English.
Yes, I would say so. I mean, certain writers are easy to read, some others may not. It depends on the writer, on the way he writes, probably.
How long have you been working here at the British Council?
Around 3 years, little less than 3 years.
And what do you do here? What's a typical day like for you when you come in? From when you come in the morning?
It's never like two days like in exams. I work in the exams department. It is plenty of fun. Gives a really full view of the business and the work of the council. And there is plenty of people involved. So
are you employed by the British Council or are you employed by Cambridge? Who pays your salary?
My salary is paid by the British Council.
Okay.
I'm a British Council staff.
But you work very closely with Cambridge?
Yes, actually yes, because I mean what we do is exams. What we do in the British Council, in the exams, most of the exams we organize are the Cambridge exams. Therefore, our relationship with Cambridge is pretty much like a daily relation, because we have to go back and forth on either sorting things out for the next exam or getting things straight from the last exam, because there is some outstanding issues or problems or whatever. So basically what we do is liaise with Cambridge, the British Council and the students. Basically we open registration periods, so candidates, people interested in getting a certificate can register. So we take on all that registrations. We made our lists of people who is willing to or who wants to take the exam, send all that information to Cambridge, sort things out with the exam, receive exams. Later on we have to organize with the examiners. So everybody is examined by speaking, so on. We have to liaise also with hotels and venues where we organize the exams. So there's going to be everything ready there on the day of the exam for candidates. And basically it's that. It's like...
So if a Spanish person was interested in taking an exam like FCE or CAE or PET, where should they go? Should they go directly to Cambridge? Should they go to the British Council website? What would be the first step for a Spanish person who wanted to take a Cambridge exam?
what I would say is that they first need a sort of a guidance, because sometimes in Spain people just want to see the exams because
they want the paper at the end.
Yeah.
They want the qualification, don't they?
I just want to have my certificate and that's all. You know?
FCE. Yeah.
And it's like I've done it. I've got the FCE, and there is no more point of me for studying any English. You know, I've done it, been there, done. You
Got
know?
the T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. And it isn't the case. Like sometimes people register or buy the wrong product because they don't really know what they're going to do with this before. Like there are other options besides the Cambridge exams, such as IELTS, for instance, which is a tremendous success in Valencia at the moment.
IELTS is the entrance exam, or what is IELTS? Is it an exam for entrance into university, or?
It is kind of a level test.
A level test that some companies or universities ask for. It's like a level of your English.
Exactly. The thing though is that IELTS is an exam that you don't pass or fail. You just get a result from 0 to 9, and depending on the result on the exam, you will be assigned sort of a level.
So, for example, if a student was interested in studying in the UK, they might need an IELTS level in order to be accepted at a university.
Exactly, or if they want to apply for a visa to go to New Zealand or Australia or even Canada, they would need or they would be asked to obtain certain level in the IELTS exam. And the thing though is that even for applying for work in Spain at the Conselleria or for teachers, IELTS is an exam which is being approved as proof of your level of English, meaning that either you have the FCE or you may have like a 5.5 or 6.5 on an IELTS, and they will accept this as a proof of a B2, for instance. So it is really handy, and on a way it is much better to.
Okay. What do you do when you're not working? What do you do in your spare time? How do you spend your free time?
I like sport. I really enjoy sport, but lately I'm not having that much time available due to the tremendous workload we had in the last 2 months. Most of the time running outside, swimming, really like swimming, and then apart from sport, it's like family.
Right.
Family time with my partner.
The Quickfire Hot Seat.
Victor, what makes you happy?
I mean, just to be alive makes me happy. Just like the fact of being around makes me really happy. Seeing people I care about makes me happy. I'm an easy person to be content. I don't need tremendous amount of money or anything else. I'm trying to be a happy person. I mean, if you see me around the council at 8:30 in the morning, whenever I arrive, you're gonna see me smiling around and saying good morning to everybody you see. So
it's true. I noticed that. What makes you sad?
It makes me sad, like a current situation of my country. It makes me sad that there's so many young people around, wandering around trying to find a job, not able to. It makes me sad to see how politics behave in Spain. That makes me sad. Makes me feel like I'm living on the wrong place.
Do you think you're typical of your nationality? Do you think you're a typical Spanish person? Because you've travelled quite a lot, so you've seen other cultures, other countries.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I mean, besides the looks, I wouldn't pass for a Norwegian or Swedish, obviously. Besides the looks, I wouldn't say I'm a typical Spanish. I don't like loudness. I don't like people yelling. I don't like hot at all. I hate.
You don't like this weather in July?
No, I hate it. I can't stand this. I just can't move around. Can't breathe. I don't like this weather. I don't like to have a copious lunch. I don't like to stop 2 hours for having a lunch. Take, just grab a bite and keep on.
Finish at 5.
Yeah.
Not 8.
Yeah. There you go.
Which famous person, dead or alive, would you most like to have dinner with or have a beer with?
Well, that's a good one. How about, somebody we can learn something from. Somebody like Aristotle, yeah? Just bring him in and have a little chit chat with the man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be really, really interesting.
If you could change something about yourself, Victor, what would you change about your character?
Probably patience. I'd like to be more patient. Sometimes I'm just consumed. I want to have immediate results to whatever I'm doing. Sometimes isn't easy to do that. It is a process, and you have to learn to wait. You have to learn the process, and sometimes it isn't just like.
Is that getting easier for you or more difficult as you're getting older? You have got more patience or less?
I don't know what to say. Like, for some things, I think I'm less patient.
Uh-huh.
For some others, I'm more professionally. I've learned to be patient and to wait. For some others, well, more than patient, is tolerance. I'm more intolerant, but that's a different story.
In work, you're more intolerant?
No, not in work. In personal
in your
life.
Personal life.
Like, things trying to bother me more. Like, whenever I see somebody yelling on the train with his mobile phone,
that's age.
That's age.
The same. I'm the same. That's age. If you had 6,000 euros to spend on yourself, mm-hmm. what would you spend it on?
At the moment, I don't really need anything. Like, I'm the worst person to give a present to whenever my birthday is, because if you ask me what I need, I'm gonna say like I don't need anything. So probably I'll give them to my brother. He's been unemployed for like 4 years.
Is he living in Alicante?
Yeah, he lives in my hometown. So he's got the support of the rest of the family, but he's been unemployed for a really long time now. Works in construction.
Yeah, that's a bad industry at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was very nice. Just grab a bite and keep on. Bring him in and have a little chit chat with the man. Mm-hmm. Because we are not really prone on moving from one place to another.